if you're wearing an electric shocker for an entire feature-length film of about 3 hours,
What?
that's actually a long time to be continuously
Yeah,
shocked.
yeah. You're really good at making me just be in control that I don't even notice sometimes. The edges I'm pushing are so good.
Pups is afraid of the punishment.
Welcome to Domed Podcast. We are your hosts, Mistress Gemma
And Goddess Seraphyna.
Are you ready to be domed?
Pups mini-series. How could I not MC this without playing a little game with you two? So, Pups...
You don't look nervous.
Should pups be nervous?
It's a game. Will you win or lose? I mean,
Pups is afraid of the punishment.
just roll over.
I feel like if Pups was playing any game with you, he's always going to lose.
Of course. He knows the rules.
So the rules of this game.
Okay.
This is going to be rapid fire prompts.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a kinky little subject, and both of you have 1 to 2 minutes of giving the first story or little anecdote
Thoughts. First thoughts. Yeah.
that come to mind when I say them. Pups, are you ready?
Yes, I am, Goddess.
Are you ready to lose?
Yes, Goddess.
Gemma, are you ready?
Yeah. So ready to win.
Okay, subject number 1 is chastity.
Chastity does not work. We've tried it multiple times with a physical device. And let's say that Pups is not the most well endowed to where it fits so well, though we will fix that very soon. We were waiting for you to finish your marathon, but apparently that's not happening because you hurt yourself, so we could get to chastity quicker with a Prince Albert. Yes, mental chastity, which he's so obedient, like it's not a problem whatsoever, but the actual symbolism in a physical form has yet to be expressed, which I'm excited about.
I need to say that when you shared that with me, I did go on ChatGPT and ask what a Prince Albert was. So the viewers can do the same.
Yeah.
Pups?
Pups really doesn't want a Prince Albert, but he's also so excited about doing that for you, Mistress. So this is a bit of a push and pull in Pup's mind. I can't wait till we do that. Chastity. Let's see what first comes to Pup's mind. He's surprisingly good at it.
Yeah, very good.
As Mistress alluded to, we do mental chastity. Pup's physiology hasn't really cooperated as of yet. And, I think that this is not something that gets enough airtime because mental chastity doesn't require a lot of management on the dom's part. But, if it's something that the submissive wants to commit to, it is something that you can have a lot of success with, and I think actually reveals some deeper layers where I have to choose on an ongoing basis to be chaste for Mistress Gemma. And when it comes down to it, I love that feeling. I love that the little extra oomph, little ounce of kind of submission that it brings for me. And I know that I'd be disappointed in myself if I were to violate that. Yeah,
I will say mental chastity for me is actually hotter than a physical device because it's psychological, like that desire to not want to let me down and that self-control and discipline. So good.
Okay, I have one little mini question.
Okay.
How do you trust his word?
It really comes down to just over time. He's never led me astray. He's always been honest. He's been honest when actually you've just never accidentally done it, but I know that if you had, you would tell me immediately.
Absolutely. And part of what's going on there is that from a previous dynamic, Pups has a little PTSD about focusing on his orgasms and his genitalia. It's very much not about his orgasms or genitalia. He is focused on the benefits of chastity for you, Mistress Gemma.
More focus on me.
Love. Okay, prompt number 2. Public play. Gemma always goes first.
Do I? I kind of want pups to go for. Oh, there's a gulp. Okay, go ahead.
Pups will do whatever you want him to do, and this manifests itself in a lot of different ways. I've kissed your feet in a lot of different environments, I would say, and that is a huge surprise to Pups that he's actually really into this. And I honestly, I could not articulate. It's hard for me to say exactly the switch that flipped where Pups is into this, because proto Pups would have been glancing around and kind of worried about this sort of thing. But actual Pups now, he obeys Mistress Gemma. And when you tell me to do something, I do it. No hesitation.
Yeah, because Pups is very conscientious about your identity publicly and your association with this. And for you to step into that in a public setting when we're just walking down a street is definitely big. But also, in hindsight, obviously, that's a big move for you. But for me, it just came so seamless that I guess you're really good at making me just be in control, that I don't even notice sometimes the edges I'm pushing. You're so good.
Pups can't wait to explore the edge with you further, Mistress.
So public play. I've also kneed you multiple times in public. I've used you as an ashtray in public. But the really more devious ones are the under the table public play, when we're going to restaurants, when I am masticating food and spitting it back out, where you have to then eat that. The rituals around you're not allowed to eat before I eat, and you're not allowed to have a first bite of any dish until I let you eat after I've had my share in satisfaction, satiation around that, to sending you to the bathroom to edge and having you all worked up and wobbly, coming back to just a glance. It's gotten to the point where just a certain glance, he just turns into mush. And I find those small acts the most fun, because it's kind of our little secret language and code that no one else is privy to, which is quite special.
I really love that for us too, Mistress. And one of the things I would add in terms of that type of play is that if you're wearing an electric shocker for an entire feature-length film of about 3 hours, that's actually a long time to be continuously shocked.
Yeah. I mean, that one was definitely a strenuous one where there had to be a little bit of a diversion.
Okay, I need more than a minute. Elaborate.
Well, a remote electroplay e-stim for the puppy.
Around
the head and base, and just pressing a little remote shocks it. And so we are in a movie theater enjoying our evening, and he has to contain himself. I mean, we were very centered of the movie theater with others around.
Oh my gosh, I might steal that idea. Wow, I'm now flustered. And it's so excited. Okay, next is body modification.
You have the tattoo. That was our 2-year anniversary. Yes?
Yes, Mistress.
Geez, time flies by. 2-year anniversary. I don't take lightly to permanent markings at all. For me, it is a very momentous, very sacred act of commitment in a way. Cauterizing pen with my initials. The smell of that is quite unique, but intoxicating. Gosh, I'm twisted when I say that out loud.
I remember we were both so jazzed that night after doing that.
Yeah, and it lasted far longer. It lasted for like a year and a half where you could see it, and we thought it'd be a month or two of scarring. Yeah. And then using sharp pointed implements for Scarification. That was their 3-year anniversary, 3 strokes, which we're still working on to create a deeper, more scar tissue. So ever since, every time we see each other, I'm going over it.
We're past 3.5 years now, and I think we are getting some very nice scarring coming through.
Yes. And then,
Wow.
as we spoke about, Prince Albert is coming up next.
I mean, Pups loves everything about this because, I think that on a base level, it's such an intimate activity where you're literally cutting me open. And so it feels like some of the most intimate moments that we have. I enjoy that loss of bodily autonomy. If something sharp is kind of your skin can't help but yield to it. It makes me feel objectified, which I really like when you're doing. It makes me feel incredibly submissive to you and owned by you. That I really do view these things as a reward and something that we can work towards. So I love being your canvas mistress.
One that you had mentioned very briefly in the interview, and I have not stopped thinking about: surveillance.
Super hot. Cameras in my apartment. She can track my phone as well. I think that can give rise to all sorts of different fantasies. But what actually hits Pups the most when we talk about the surveillance is I view that as a token of just how far I'm willing to go to be vulnerable before my mistress. And then on the flip side, the fact that she wants to do that she wants to dominate me in that way, warms my little subheart to no end.
To know that I'm looking after you at all times.
Thank you, mistress.
So one is in your bedroom,
Yep.
facing your bed. I could see my own whole entire shrine.
That's it.
And then one is in your main living area, oversees the kitchen and the living room. It's sometimes I forget that I'm surveillancing him, but then I'll just be hanging out and be like, oh, wait, hold on. And I could hear rustles outside the camera, and I'm just like, Pups! And he just scurries over. And he kneels.
Stop!
Yeah, he kneels and he looks, but he can't see me. So
That's
he's
so
just like
cute.
imagining. It's like in prayer
That is so
to God's
sweet.
voice. And or if he's busy, like working, then he'll text me immediately and, let me know, but immediately will come out. And it's fun to toy with him with his chastity. Of course, edging is a huge thing that I like to see, and I'll take frames of it or video screenshots and send it back to him to dissect him.
Oh my God, I love it.
His face, especially when there's the best reaction of
Pups cannot hide his inadequacies before you, mistress. And so if I could add, these particular cameras, they make a little noise when you're actively accessing it. And Pups loves to hear that sound.
Oh, does it?
It reinforces that, I submit to you everywhere and in all places, even in kind of
Pavlovian response.
My sacred space of home.
Yeah. Or sometimes I zoom in and I'm like, you're eating a tub of ice cream?
This is a true story, directly from the tub with the freezer open.
Oh, I actually caught you red-handed, and I was like, Pups, you're eating right out of the tub. How much are you eating?
This is a single submissive story, I guess. And tubs are not single serve. We know this now.
Tubs.
Oh my goodness, that was so good, and I'm so excited to come back to you guys and say when my time has finally happened where I have my own, which leads me to your silliest session. I'm too curious.
Well, one was with us when you learned needle play. Yeah. Christmas time. We turned Pups into a Christmas tree. Tinsel. So it was needle play, staples, tinsel, ornaments, a star.
Blinking lights.
Wrapped him up. Granted, Pup is, a Jew, but we made him sing Christmas classics.
Mariah Carey.
Well, we were playing Mariah Carey while decorating Pups.
Decorating the Christmas tree,
tree.
dancing around the Christmas tree.
And then Pups had to somehow recollect some Christmas songs, which he failed greatly at, being a Jew, a Jewish pup.
I can't believe that I couldn't remember any of the Christmas lyrics. Pups will never make that mistake again, mistress.
I think we ended up making you sing dreidel. Can you give a little rendition of that for us?
I don't know that this is anything that our viewers will actually want to hear, but dreidel, 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 I made it out of clay, and when it's dry and ready, oh dreidel, I shall play.
I'm pretty sure we played you like a dreidel. Spun you around so many times. Yes.
Yes.
And then we left Christmas tree there while we had a very lovely dinner. Sushi, yeah. We got to enjoy the Christmas spirit. Another favorite of mine was your birthday. I made him into a balloon float where I stapled a bunch of balloons I got onto his back, paraded him around where he had to wag his tail, bark, showing him off to the non-existent admirers of my little pup float. But yeah, that one was a good one. You had no clue what was coming, and you didn't think I remembered your birthday, likely?
That meant a lot to me that you did something special for my birthday, mistress. And Pups treasures the video of the birthday float moving around. And you know, it's really interesting actually when we talk about some of this play, because I think we do a lot of stuff that's kind of silly. But when you ask me to do something, I tend to view that through the lens of reverence and worship and obedience. But you know, if it's silly and joyful and degrading all together at the same time, all the better.
I think that it was something that was so prevalent in your dynamic that I was able to see clearly. I'm a giggler. It comes through. But to be in such play and such laughter, especially with a skill set that a lot deem as the most intense, I was so surprised at how much we were laughing and playing and dancing around a silly little Christmas tree.
Originally, it was slated for 2 hours, but it ended up being 4 hours.
Yeah, we had
it was
a lot
very.
of fun.
We pushed you to the point where we had to give you a bell while we ate dinner in case you were straining, which you did have to ring.
Thank you, mistress, for that. What Pups would say is that 4 hours is a long time to be poked with sharp objects.
Yeah, especially where needles are a little bit of a squeamish area for you, for sure. Especially in the puppy cock area.
Certainly, but that's actually some of my favorite moments of our play. There was one time when we were engaging in that exact opportunity, which we both, that exact type of play, where we both know that it can be quite painful depending on how it's done through the crown. And you told me you are going to take this many needles, and Pups looked at you with his puppy
white
eyes and said, "Yes, mistress." And sure enough, I did. And that to me is just such a magical moment about what you can, kind of the connection that we can achieve, and how Pups can push himself when you guide him.
I love it. I love all of your answers.
This is a good one.
Pups,
Good.
you lost.
Teamwork.
Did you enjoy being domed? Like, subscribe, and add your worships in the comments. Follow us on all socials linked in the bio below.